Of raising things up. Our next guest is raising the voices of Black female artists. Dr. Bettina Judd, who teaches at the University of Washington, is also the author of a new book called Feelin, Creative Practice and Pleasure and Black Feminist Thought. And she joins me now on the couch this morning. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about the title, Feelin. How is Feelin different than feeling?
Right, so it's a concept it's rooted in African American vernacular English, you know, to take the gerund and interrupt it a bit, right? And so it's kind of in the way that you've probably heard it people say, I'm feeling that, right?
Yeah.
Right? Or I'm not feeling that, right? And it's not just about like whether or not you're touching something, it's whether or not you understand and deeply relate to something.
Right. It's like what the kids say now, the vibe.
Yes.
That's a vibe.
Yes, vibes.
You're a vibe. But
right.
I understand this better. What made you want to write this book?
Right. So the first thing was that I went into academia wanting to be an artist, really, and really wanting to think about how my art could be useful for social movements and how it relates to the rest of culture. Right. And so this book really came out of really trying to understand the integral way that creative practice actually informs people's lives and moves people. Like, you know, what not only, like, why do you like a song? It's not just because it sounds good, it's because you feel it in your core and that makes you move in the world.
I'm so grateful that you took the time to sit there and think about that, because we feel it. We feeling it.
Right.
But we don't understand and take the time to understand it, which, like you said, helps us kind of get that greater pathway. The first chapter deals with Seattle's waterways?
Yeah, so it really deals with grief, right?
Yeah.
And so I moved here in 2016, and that came with a lot of loss in my family. And what was really healing for me and being a newcomer here to Seattle was, you know, being on the water and you know, taking the ferry to the San Juan Islands and seeing the gorgeous lands here of the Coast Salish people. And so that first chapter is about me meditating with the waterways here.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. I identify with that. I also dealt with grief when I recently moved here, and the weather, the rain, the darkness.
Right.
That
it definitely compounds the low feelings, right?
It was, but it was also like a warm blanket too, like the waterways. I think this is so important. You're a Black feminist scholar and you teach at the University of Washington. Have you seen this area change, or whether what is being taught or the type of topics that students are now looking to explore?
Yes, I've found that particularly University of Washington students are incredibly brilliant and curious, and they are interested in what I teach and what my colleagues teach in the Department of Gender, Women, and Sexuality Studies, particularly with the current events going on, like the end of Roe v. Wade, with what's happening with COVID, injustices in the Black Lives Matter movement. All of those issues really matter to students, and we touch on those issues.
And we're talking about them and sharing them, I think, in a way that most universities I don't see taking that front seat for. What do you hope people take away from this book?
I hope people take away the fact that you can really sit with and not just enjoy your favorite woman artist, you know, whether it's your friend who is an artist, you know, who's recently taken a painting, or a super famous person like Beyonce, right? And just really sit with what they've done as a creator, because it's really, they really thought through that, and they really created something so that it could move you, and, you know, to think about why it moves you is important.
Is that it's something kind of important to share for folks as we start this new year, is really pay attention to that?
Pay attention to what moves you.
I love that. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to talk to you. The book, Feelin, you got to go check it out. And reminder, Bettina is holding an author event at Elliott Bay Book Company at 7 o'clock Monday, January 9th. So go check it out. All right. Well,